Now up next, this clip is from the Boundary Riders podcast. And if you do enjoy this, then make sure to check out the full episode out every single Wednesday morning on YouTube and Spotify. Carlton need a fresh voice.
Yeah, love it. But how many more fresh voices do they need? They've had so many in the last 15 years.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. Who's the coach that Carlton need to go to, to get back somewhat? Because, I mean, let's be honest. They've had lists like they had the two best key forwards in the game. They had a Brownlow medalist. They had an All-Australian key defender. And their best finish in the last 10 years is a prelim final, which they, yes, they played well in for a half, but they did finish in the bottom. They finished in 5th or 6th that year. So they haven't even finished in top 4. And they last made finals as well before that. I think it was in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
So I think the coach has always been a bit of an issue for them. They haven't been able to find that coach to take them to the next step. The list really has. I mean, they've had some list blunders in the past, like Josh Bootsma. I always remember what a signing he was, and they missed out on a couple of others. But they've still made some pretty good decisions. To have 2 Coleman medalists on your list that you drafted, that's a pretty big get. Bringing in Paddy Cripps, who's the coach has been the issue, I think.
Yeah, I think whoever the coach has been, they haven't been able to quickly change their game style into what it is these days.
Yeah, they've changed with the times.
Yeah, Michael Voss is playing in the 90s. He's playing when he's coaching a team that is, playing game style when he was a player. The game's changed in 20 years. Since you were in your dynasty at Brisbane, the game's changed 100%. Even 180. It's completely different now. And even when they were winning, they got to the prelim. That's when it started to change, and he just didn't want to change his game style. And I think there's a lot more than just the coach, though. I think their whole coaching department's just not there. When you've got the role, you had the 2 big forwards, you had your Paddy Cripps, you had basically the spine. How do you not do something?
The fact that they went from the top 4 to 8th and scrape into finals in 2024, basically making up the numbers, to missing finals completely in 2025, and now one of the worst 4 teams in the competition, I'd probably say. They'd be around that mark. They've dropped right off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And it just, I understand that it is probably the whole coaching department, but the main issue that keeps on arising for me has been the coach. We go back to Brett Ratton. They moved to Mick Malthouse.
Yeah.
That didn't work. They then went to an unexperienced coach in Brendan Bolton. That didn't work. Then they moved to an assistant coach that did a couple of good games before as an interim coach, and then got taken over, and then it was David Teague. He didn't last very long. He lasted a couple of years, and then they moved to Michael Voss. It seems like that's the issue, though, in my eyes. The big issue is the head coach. They haven't got a guy who's going to lead them. Now, I personally think the main guy they should be striving for is Ken Hinkley.
That's who I was going to say as well.
I think they should, because I think the Ken Hinkley, yes, he didn't get his team to a grand final for Port Adelaide, but the one thing he did do was he got everyone to love him. Every single player at Port Adelaide loved Ken Hinkley.
And still does.
We saw him at the game last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, when everyone was standing around him and they were in awe of him. Even players that weren't even on the list when he was there, like Jack Watkins, was sitting there talking to him, listening to him. He brings the club together. He brings players together. You play for him,
and he still knows the game. Even just listening to him on commentary, he knows the game.
Yeah,
he knows how the game should be played these days. And yes, he didn't really have the 15, 20 stars like the Dogs do at Port Adelaide, but he had people on his back that will play for him.
Yeah, I mean, what probably one thing that many people would say about Port Adelaide is they always used to fight above their weight. Even in the years when they made the finals, they never really had the best list, but they always used to fight and play for him. And I bet a lot of Port Adelaide fans are saying right now, do you want to come back, Ken? Please? But I understand why they chose Josh Carr in the end, but I think that he should be their number 1 target going into, because let's be honest, if Michael Voss survives to the bye, I'd be shocked. I think he will be. I can't see a way where he can survive all the way to the bye without getting the sack. They can't keep on having results like that. If that result happened around the bye with North Melbourne last week, surely he would have been gone.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the big talking point about it is that North Melbourne have been a laughing stock in that game, Good Friday game, since it started. It was not the fact that if North Melbourne were playing well the entire game, and it was very close, it was one-sided, it would be a different story. To have a 20-plus point lead with like 10 minutes left and cough it up,
yeah,
you can't
against
do
a
that.
Against a team like North Melbourne, who would have felt a lot of pressure as well. Like, it wasn't like North Melbourne were like, oh, okay, we can fight back from this. They would have had so much pressure on them, because if they did lose, they would have lost another Good Friday game, and everyone would be saying that they shouldn't get that game, that they don't deserve that primetime slot. But yes, Carlton had this more pressure, but they still had a team on the ropes, and they didn't put them away.
Yeah.
All they had to do was kick another goal, and they would have won it. Stop North Melbourne from scoring for 5 minutes, they would have won it. But they couldn't do it. So, yeah, I mean, I personally think that their next coach has to be a experienced one.
Yeah.
And I think that Ken Hinkley should be the number one target for them. You've got obviously others, and Adam Simpson is currently in the coach's mentoring role with Michael Voss. I still don't really think that's the option. I think that they should go outside just completely clear of Carlton and pick someone that's not there. Even if Adam Simpson wants to go back into coaching, I don't think he's the guy.
No.
Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all we have for you for this episode of the podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe over on YouTube. And if you are over on Spotify, make sure to leave us 5 stars. And make sure to click, I don't know what the bell is. I think if you follow, that's how you get notified for podcasts every single week. Now, you'd think I'd remember that after 150 odd episodes, but I can't even remember the episode number. So, such a professional here. Anyway, guys, hopefully you guys have a good gather round. If you are here in SA, make sure to use that petrol discount if you remember it, and go to the right places. Make sure to have a safe weekend. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you all next week.
See you later, guys.